Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Wednesday evening, August 20, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you all like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you all get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you all utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the weather's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Taking a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook that just came out at 7:51 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:51 p.m. Jamaica time. We can see that we still have Hurricane Erin right here to the east of the United States. To the southeast of Erin, we have a code red, something that has a high chance of developing within the next 7 days as it pushes off towards the north. And to the east of that code red, we have a code orange right here to the southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands, something that has a medium chance of development within the next 7 days. And if we take a look at the infrared, we can make out all of these entities. The clouds associated with Erin right here, passing just to the east of the United States, just to the west of Bermuda right in here. Definitely churning up the waves out to sea for sure. I'm pretty sure that there are no ships out to sea at this time under all of these clouds. They would definitely be getting tossed around for sure. We can see the brunt of the activities just to the west of Bermuda and to the east of the US. So they're not getting on much rainfall, but they're definitely getting on the rip current for sure. And to the southeast of Erin, we have that area that has a high chance of development within the next 7 days. Not looking as impressive as the system to the east of it though. The system almost looks like it's already a tropical depression, but the Hurricane Center is just stating that it is a code orange. And the thing is, there's going to be a lot of wind shear over here over the next couple of days, so the chances of this thing developing and maintaining a strength all the way to the Caribbean very low for sure. And we can even see another tropical wave right here pushing off of the coast of Africa. 'Tis the season. If we take a look at the information that was stated here regarding the code red, let us read. They've stated here, a tropical wave located several hundred miles east of the Leeward Islands is producing a broad area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions appear conducive for gradual development of this system, and a tropical depression is likely to form by this week while it moves near or to the north of the northern Leeward Islands. And we see that they've given the area a 10% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days and a 70% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. Regarding the code orange, they've stated here, a tropical wave located several hundred miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands continues to produce a concentrated area of showers and thunderstorms. Earlier satellite-derived surface wind data depicted that the system does not have a well-defined center. Environmental conditions appear marginally favorable for additional development over the next day or so while the system moves west-southwestward at around 15 miles per hour, and a short-lived tropical depression could form. By the end of the week, environmental conditions are expected to become unfavorable for further development. And we see that they've given the area a 40% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days, as well as within the next 7 days. And if we take a closer look at this system, it has been dubbed Invest 99L. And we see a lot of convection associated with it. It almost looks like the center of the area might be somewhere in here, and a lot of thunderstorms off to the west and to the south of there. Either way, in terms of what the Euro ensemble spaghetti models are showing, it's expected to push off towards the west, not really making it up to crazy intensity at all. Some of them pushing it north of the Caribbean, some of them making it into the Caribbean. The GFS spaghetti model ensembles Not really impressed with the system. As a matter of fact, over the next couple of days, it should possibly even dissipate, not even make it as far as where the Euro has it. And regarding the intensity model guidance right here, almost all of them are in agreement that the system won't even make it up to tropical storm status. We see some of them making it up there by around the 96 to 108 hour mark the next 5 days. Another one right here making it up to tropical storm status, maybe even as far as hurricane status by the end of the next 7 days. Now we have to stay updated. We know model intensity is not the hurricane center strong suit, so we have to take these forecasts with a grain of salt. Anything can happen. It could overachieve, it could underachieve. We have to stay updated to see exactly what unfolds. And even the supercomputer models are in agreement with what's expected over the next 7 days. The Euro model right here showing 6Z on Sunday, August 24, which is actually 1 a.m. on Sunday. We see the code orange. It should be right here to the far north of the Eastern Caribbean. We see a lot of moisture right here to the south of the main development region, well, across the southern main development region, associated with the intertropical convergence zone, intertwined with that tropical wave. We can't even make out where that tropical wave would be. Even the GFS is showing something similar, that area to the north of the Caribbean by 1 a.m. on Sunday, but it's definitely a bit more south and west of where the Euro has it. Euro has it to the north, GFS has it a bit more southwest of there. And we see a lot of moisture right down here to the south. And then by the end of the, well, almost to the end of the next 7 days, so we're looking at the 144 hour mark. So this is valid for 12Z on Tuesday, August 26. So 7 a.m. on Tuesday. The Euro has the code orange somewhere in here, embedded in a lot of moisture. We can't even make out where exactly that code orange is. Well, the code red is up here. The code orange is somewhere down in here. Can't even make it up, but it's good to know the amount of moisture right here to the north of the ABC Islands, to the south of Hispaniola. Could that be associated with that code orange? What does the GFS show? GFS is showing that code red right here to the west of where the Euro has it. And we see some moisture across southeastern Caribbean. Don't really see anything, well defined at all. Very interesting times coming up as we head into the peak of hurricane season. Regarding Hurricane Erin, we see it right here, still looking quite formidable. We still have that classic buzzsaw, almost buzzsaw-like shape, even although we have some patches of clouds that are, well, away from the area of circulation. Some breaks in the clouds here and there, a lot of thunderstorms around the center of circulation as it pushes off towards the north and northeast. And we see the Euro and the GFS spaghetti model ensembles in agreement that it should stay out to sea, pushing off towards the northeast. And we can also see even the intensity going down. As of right now, it is packing winds of 95 knots. It's expected to gradually decrease in intensity, especially over the next 3 to 5 days. Definitely make it back down to category 1, even tropical storm status. But as of right now, according to the Hurricane Center, Erin is packing maximum sustained winds of 110 miles per hour. So that makes Erin, let me see exactly what that makes Erin. Alright, so it makes Erin if it's 110, right? A category 2 hurricane still at this time. We know category 2 hurricanes, they're basically anywhere from 96 to 110 mile per hour winds. So it's up there, almost close to category 3 status. But we see that the Hurricane Center is expecting it to increase in intensity. We see the M's that represents major hurricane status. We know major hurricanes are anywhere from category 3 to 5, so could increase back to a category 3 for a brief period, then by Friday morning back to an H hurricane, anywhere from category 1 to category 2. And then we see it by Saturday at 2 p.m. back to an S, that's tropical storm status, as we head into early next week as it pushes off towards the northeast. As of right now, we see a tropical storm watch up for Bermuda, even although it's so far away. Tropical storm warning up for the east coast of the US. We're talking about eastern North Carolina, eastern Virginia, right in here. They're definitely going to be feeling the effects of the strong winds. Not necessarily the rainfall, but strong winds. And it's definitely going to be causing a lot of high waves. As of right now, the system is moving to the north at 14 miles per hour. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we have a tropical wave right here across the central Caribbean affecting the Dominican Republic and Venezuela. Another tropical wave right here associated with that code red, and to the east of that code red we have that code orange. All of these entities being steered from east to west, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure to the north. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before we lost sunlight, we can make out all of these entities. The clouds associated with Erin right in here. The clouds associated with the tropical wave. I think these are the clouds right in here. I think we can make them out pushing just to the south of Haiti right now. The tropical wave right here just to the east of the Caribbean. Definitely going to be bringing some rainfall to portions of the Leeward Islands. And the other tropical wave right in here, definitely looking quite formidable. I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes the tropical depression tonight, if not early tomorrow for sure. Maybe even acquiring that name Fernand. Let us see if that actually takes place. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean today later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Wednesday, August 20, 2025. It was stated that rainfall could have been in the forecast of parts of some eastern parishes in Jamaica, also affecting sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes during the afternoon. So eastern parishes for the morning, eastern, central, and western parishes for the afternoon. And we know eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, and St. Andrew. Central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, and St. Catherine. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? As early as 10:51 a.m., the visible satellite images were posted not only here on our Twitter page with the Jamaica, but they were also posted on our Instagram page with the Jamaica, on our TikTok page with the Jamaica, and on our Facebook page with the Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So at 10:51 a.m., we saw the clouds coming into portions of eastern Jamaica. Definitely bring some overcast skies, if not some isolated showers, to sections of St. Thomas, sections of Portland. Definitely gotten on some of the action for sure. And then during the afternoon, at around 1:55 p.m., the visible satellite image was posted, and it highlighted the clouds bringing some overcast skies, if not some isolated thunder showers, to sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes, with the bias, with the brunt of it across northern parishes for sure, especially given that moist southeasterly flow that we mentioned in yesterday's video. So wherever you see the sparkling yellow dots that we know represent the lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. So across sections of western Portland and eastern parish, sections of St. Mary, northern Clarendon, sections of Manchester into St. Elizabeth, southern Trelawney at that time, even far south of Manchester getting on some isolated thunder showers at that time. And if we take a look at the progression of the clouds during the afternoon, definitely saw the clouds building across sections of Hanover, St. James, Trelawney. We saw the cloud top starting to shear off towards the west as well. Section of Manchester, St. Elizabeth, St. Anne getting in on some of the thunder showers as well. All of the entities, well, all of the clouds being steered either way from southeast to northwest or from east to west by that upper level wind shear. And we can see it all even better on the infrared satellite imagery right here, confirming the cumulonimbus clouds. All of these blues, greens, yellows, oranges, and reds represents the cumulonimbus cloud cover, and the sparkling white dots that we know represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes, especially across sections of some central and western parishes. All of these high cloud tops being sheared off and pushed out towards the west by that upper level wind shear, just as we stated it would in yesterday's video. And if we take a look at the live camera here from C Jamaica's YouTube channel, this was at around 11:53 a.m. and we can see that we had people in their vehicles going about their business. Nothing in the way of bad weather taking place at that time. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit C Jamaica on YouTube. Look at the sunny conditions. The rear cobra definitely chilling. Nothing in the way of bad weather taking place at that time. So subscribe to C Jamaica so that you can see more live streams like this. And even the total accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours, definitely confirming where we had that rainfall today, especially across eastern, central, and western parishes. Eastern parishes in the morning, St. Thomas into Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, section of St. Elizabeth, and a section of Manchester, northern Clarendon during the afternoon. And we thank the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website right here for the total accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours. And we definitely have some comments right here coming in from some of our followers on our Instagram page. We had Portmore Bell _ stating Ligani side getting rain. We had Shani Megu stating rain in Falmouth. We also had Kemar _ highest youth 825 stating Mame Bay Ochi I get rain right now 2:32 p.m. enough rain too. Thank you all for confirming what the weather was like in your area for today. Alright, so let us reload the very latest still image from the Weather Nerds website. Let us see what's happening right now. And we're also going to be reloading the latest Cuban Doppler radar, the latest Jamaican Doppler radar, the latest Cuban Doppler radar, the latest Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar, and the latest Cayman radar to confirm what's happening. Alright, so as of right now, we can see the latest still image from the Weather Nerds website is showing 0015 UTC, which is actually 7:15 p.m. So this just came out 16 minutes ago, considering that it is 7:31 p.m. right now. As you can see, just some leftover clouds right here across the northwestern end. We see the whites into the bluish shades that represent some high cirrus clouds. Nothing to do with bad weather at all. The Jamaican Doppler radar, see, it was just working just now before I reloaded the page, but I reloaded the page, it broke down. But it has been broken all morning. It only showed the rainfall coming into section of eastern Jamaica this morning, and that was basically it. The Cuban Doppler radar, as usual, glitched out. We see it glitched out at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 1 p.m. Jamaica time. At that time, not really much of anything was taking place across Jamaica. Maybe some isolated shores right here, exiting the western portion of Westmoreland and Hanover. Regarding the Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar, we can confirm some rainfall right here across the northern portion of southeastern Cuba. Nothing else across northeastern Jamaica or the western portions of Haiti at all. Regarding the Cayman radar, we can see some rainfall right here across section of central Cuba today, some isolated shores to the west of the Cayman Islands and to the southwest of Jamaica, but that's basically it. Taking a look at what's happening right now, the live camera right here from See Jamaica's YouTube channel showing downtown Kingston. We can see that it is definitely dry, definitely fair. Nothing in the way of bad weather taking place, and that should be the order of the evening for sure. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we're at 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 28 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Thursday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay as well as in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Thursday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Thursday, and we can see Jamaica right here, embedded in some yellows and some slight oranges that maybe represents 1 to even up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal. And we know the normal temperature for the month of August across Jamaica is around 91 degrees Fahrenheit, and when that's converted to degrees Celsius that we use here in Jamaica, that's around 32.8 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32.8 to maybe even 34.8 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Thursday. And we unfortunately have to show you that we have some maintenance outage advisories here from my JPS Online's Twitter page that we have to highlight. And we know that we have to highlight these because we know that when we have power outages somewhere across the island, it can definitely make the heat feel even worse because we don't have our fan or our AC to cool us down. So if you live or work in these areas, or if you have friends or relatives who live or work in these areas, please let them know that a power outage is coming their way on Thursday, August 21, 2025. We're referring to Somerton Avenue, Halifax Avenue, and Kings Drive in St. Andrew from 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Fort George in St. Anne from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Gimme Mebit District in Clarendon from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Leith Hall, Bloomahoe, and Prospect District in St. Thomas from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. as well. And we have some tips right here to beat the heat as usual. It states here, seek shade when outside. Eat fresh. Try eating cold foods such as salads and fruits. Rest. Make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you're feeling tired. Soak. Take a cool shower or a bath to help you cool down. And I cannot stress enough the importance of keeping hydrated throughout the day. Drink lots of water even if you're not thirsty, and put away those sugar drinks and drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. That's the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those grids. And we can see the dry air extending all the way from Africa across the northern portion of the main development region into the eastern to the central Caribbean right here. We know that the dry air is responsible for keeping the atmosphere stable, making it harder for it to rain. And we like the fact that we're seeing a lot of moist air in the blues. Wherever we have the moist air, that's where we have most of the clouds in the grays, and that's what we want. We want more clouds, that we get more rainfall to keep water in our pipes. Regarding the Saharan dust forecast for the next 3 days, we're heading into August 21, August 22, and August 23. As you can see, some Saharan dust is currently pushing through the Caribbean, but it is on the dull side, not really vigorous at all. We see the greens into the yellows into the slight oranges that should be pushing through into portion of Jamaica by August 21, August 22 as well, dwindling, and we get some breaks in between, some fluctuation. It's nothing really serious, but we have to highlight the Saharan dust because know that it can definitely cause some slight hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons. So if you have asthma or sinusitis, please ensure that you have your meds handy just in case you're easily triggered by these kind of not so vigorous plumes. Regarding the wave forecast for tomorrow, we're still seeing that the highest waves are right here off the east coast of the west associated with Hurricane Erin. All of these dark blues into the purples, pinks, burgundies, all the way up into the whites that represents all the way up to 9 or more meter wave heights. While we have the lowest waves in the Gulf into the Western Caribbean, that's the 0.5 for meter wave height. While the central to the Eastern Caribbean getting up to 1, maybe even a 1.5 meter wave heights, and that's because of the winds that are expected. The easterly flow is definitely back, averaging anywhere from 10 to 20 knots. We have the strong winds around Erin, spinning around the center of the circulation, not anti-clockwise fashion. We see how close it's going to be coming to the US East Coast, which is why they have tropical storm warnings up for the east coast of the US, so coastal Virginia into coastal North Carolina. They're definitely going to be getting at some strong northerly winds. But if we zoom in on Jamaica's wave forecast, tomorrow we have Portland's waters 1.1 meter wave height, St. Anne's waters 1 meter wave height, Hanover's water 0.6 of a meter wave height, Westmoreland's water 0.7 of a meter wave height, Clarendon's waters 0.7 of a meter wave height, St. Thomas's waters 1.3 meter wave height, and that's because of the winds that are expected. We see what looks like more of an east-southeasterly kind of flow across the island, and the wind speeds aren't going to be way up there. 14 knots for sure, 13 knots right here to the north of Portland, 15 knots to the south of St. Elizabeth. And we also see where we have the weakest winds. Wherever we have the bluish shades, that's where we have the weakest winds. That's where we could have those low-level clouds becoming mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds, maybe across sections of some northern and western parishes. And the upper-level wind shear is coming in from the northeast tomorrow. So if we actually get some thunderstorms tomorrow on the northwestern side, those cloud tops would be pushed off towards the southwest, maybe covering Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth with some overcast skies. But regarding the actual rainfall forecast maps, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 1 p.m. Jamaica time. We don't really see crazy rainfall on the Euro, but we do see some dots of blues across the northwest, maybe Hanover, St. James. We also see some dots of blues across section of St. Thomas, Portland, and St. Mary. But we are working with the GFS. We know the GFS is more accurate regarding the afternoon rainfall. We can definitely see that rainfall, especially where we have that air piling up across sections of some western parishes and northern parishes. We're talking about Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary. Those areas definitely going to be getting on some afternoon rainfall on Thursday. And even the total accumulated precipitation forecast for the next 24 hours are showing that we're going to be getting on some amount of rainfall for sure. The Euro going up to at least 0.26 of an inch of rainfall. The GFS going up to at least 0.37 of an inch of rainfall. We know that these rainfall totals aren't accurate at all. It could be more, it could be less than that. And whatever happens, I'll definitely be here to keep you posted. Whatever happens, as you can see here, we'll definitely take it because we're in the month of August. And in Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive around almost 100 millimeters of rainfall for the month of August. That's almost 4 inches of rainfall. And Montego Bay's bar graph is being shown right here at the bottom. We usually receive almost 5 inches of rainfall for the month of August. That's almost 125 millimeters of rainfall. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives in terms of rainfall for the month of August or for the entire year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com, and that website is showing that information. And you can use this nice graphic right here that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters that we receive on the rain gauge. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall, so you can do the math yourself. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us according to the latest Euro and GFS supercomputer model runs that came out today. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top as we go to the next one, Jan 68 hours, that stands for the next 7 days. Keep your eyes focused on Jamaica right here as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens that represents inches of rainfall. So let's see what's going to be taking place. So we just looked at Thursday's forecast. Now we're going to be looking at Friday, and we're going to be comparing the Euro with the GFS to see if we have agreement. 12th on Friday is actually 7 a.m. We see some dots of greens to the south of Jamaica, maybe across eastern end too. Then on Friday afternoon, we see that rainfall across some central and western parishes. What do we see on the GFS? Do we have agreement? Friday morning on the GFS, some rainfall to our east. Friday afternoon on the GFS, rainfall across sections of some southern parishes. So we have some, disagreement there. On Saturday morning, what do we see? Not really much of anything across Jamaica Saturday afternoon. Maybe some rainfall across the far eastern end. What do we see on the GFS? Saturday morning, east of us, we see some rainfall. Saturday afternoon, we see some rainfall across some central and western parishes. So different from what the Euro is showing. We also see what could be or possibly next name system, that code red that we saw. That's going to be passing just to the north of the islands right in here. We see that on both the Euro and the GFS. The GFS is a bit more robust and to the west of where the Euro has it, as we mentioned earlier. Let us see what Sunday morning shows. On Sunday morning, we see some rainfall just to the east of us, to the south of Haiti. Sunday afternoon, rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes on the Euro. What does the GFS show? Sunday morning, rainfall across the eastern end. Sunday afternoon, rainfall to our south and even across some far eastern parishes. What do we see on Monday morning? On the Euro, we see some rainfall to our south, maybe some isolated shores across eastern parishes. Monday afternoon, look at that, rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show? Monday morning, rainfall to our west. Monday afternoon, rainfall across some northern and western parishes. What do we see on Tuesday morning? On Tuesday morning, look at the amount of moisture according to the Euro across the central to the southern Caribbean. Very interesting. Don't see much across Jamaica, but during the afternoon, that's when we see the rainfall coming in across eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show? Tuesday morning, not really seeing much of anything. We do see some moisture across the southern Caribbean though. Then Tuesday afternoon, we see some rainfall across some central and western parishes. And we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 1 Jan 68 hours on both maps. So this is the final day. And we can clearly see that at the end of the next 7 days, which is Wednesday, August 27, we see some rainfall across some eastern parishes. What does the GFS show? Something actually similar. Very interesting. And regarding the total amount of rainfall that's expected over the next 7 days, both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Wednesday, August 27. And we can clearly see the most rainfall as represented by the dark reds into the purples and the pinks. That represents anywhere from 2 all the way up to maybe 5 inches of rainfall. And that's expected with the area where that code red should cross over just to the north of the islands, as well as across section of northern South America, even Trinidad and Tobago, Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, sections of Honduras, into Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador getting in on some of the action as well. And we clearly see that it's not only the GFS here that shows this, but even the Euro. So those areas, especially across land in Central America and Northern South America, could get in on some amount of isolated flash flooding. Regarding the Jamaica area, over the next 7 days, and both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Wednesday, August 27. And we can clearly see Jamaica shaded from the eastern end to the western end, into the blues, greens, yellows that represents anywhere from 5 millimeters all the way up to maybe 30. This looks like 30 millimeters right here of the border of St. James and Trelawney. GFS showing up to 36 millimeters all across. the cockpit country into portion of St. James, northern St. Elizabeth, eastern Westmoreland. Very interesting. And we know most of that rainfall across the central and to the western parishes is going to be during the afternoon hours. So stay tuned to see exactly what unfolds. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have the clouds associated with Erin pushing away from the Bahamas. They definitely gotten a lot of rainfall. Clouds associated with that tropical wave that has a high chance of development within the next 7 days just to the east of the Lesser Antilles, and the clouds associated with that other tropical wave to the southwest of the Cabo Verde Island, that code orange, that's expected to become something shortly. If we take a look at the Doppler radar imagery though, regarding what's happening near Puerto Rico, we saw some rainfall across central Puerto Rico today, not really much across the Leeward Island. And if we load these images from earlier today, not really much of anything took place. The Barbados radar on the other hand showing some rain bands coming in from the northeast, pushing into section of southern St. Lucia, northern St. Lucia, section of the Grenadines, and even Grenada. Nothing across Trinidad and Tobago or Barbados though. But if we take a look at the weather view of Doppler radar images, we can see that rainfall across section of northern Cuba, the Yucatan, section of Belize, section of Guatemala into Honduras. We also see some rainfall across section of Colombia. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, both maps right here from the year and the GFS are adamant that within the next 24 hours, most rainfall should be right here just to the east of the Leeward Islands. We're talking about, just to the east of Guadeloupe into Dominica, even some of those areas getting in some rainfall too. So too section of Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana, section of Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Belize, sections of Cuba, the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Haiti, the western portion of the Dominican Republic, intersection of the Bahamas getting some amount of rainfall. We can clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in agreement with this forecast. I know that when they're in agreement like this, the chances are higher for it to actually take place. Alright, so regarding what's happening across the eastern Pacific, as we can see here, tropical cyclone activity is not expected during the next 7 days. And this is why not really much of anything, just some clouds associated with the intertropical convergence zone right in here. The western Pacific though, showing that we have a brand new tropical storm and we still have a code yellow. Tropical storm 18W yesterday. It was stated that we wouldn't even see this becoming a tropical storm, but there it is right here across the southwestern Japanese islands, right in there, tropical storm. And to the south of that we have that code yellow. Regarding the tropical storm, it is now packing maximum sustained winds of 40 knots. We know that anywhere from 34 to 64 knots is designated as a tropical storm, so it's right up there in the intensity, definitely low end tropical storm. Expected to continue pushing off towards the northeast into Japan, as we can see decreasing in intensity as it's expected to cross over land. 30 knots, 25 knots, 20 knots, but it should definitely bring some amount of rainfall to Japan. I know that we have to highlight these because we know that we have friends or relatives who live or work in Japan, so please ensure that you get in touch with them if they are in that part of Japan and they could be affected. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.